welcome to the grand finals of the NBA 2K14 Virgin Gaming King of the Court Challenge, presented by PlayStation, 2K, and Amazon. My name is D-Mac, and I am here with the very cool, very popular community manager for NBA 2K, Chris Manning.
Thanks, D-Mac. Very cool. That's quite the accomplishment.
Well, here it is. I'm a community manager myself, only around my neighborhood, and I'm not as popular as you. So what am I doing wrong?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we work on NBA 2K14. The NBA 2K franchise, of course, the best basketball simulation in the world. We're very excited today because we have something pretty cool going on, D-Mac.
Yeah, we do. Today we have two competitors playing for $5,000 and a trip to the NBA Finals. They get 2 tickets. One of them I will be taking. This is absolutely amazing. Who are these guys and how did they get here?
Well, each competitor, actually anybody, could qualify by going to virgingaming.com and signing up. Every week we had some unique stuff that they could accomplish to get into this 16-man playoff. And as you can see right there on the screen, in week 1, the 4 players with the most total wins advanced. Week 2, it was total assists. Week 3, total blocks. And finally, week 4, total games played. That all led to a 16-player single elimination bracket where we come down to today, where the final 2 players are going to compete to claim themselves the king of the court, live here at the MLG Studios.
And we have the 2 players. So we have Semaj.
Yes.
He's from Virginia, and then we have Tommy. He's from Wisconsin. And can you tell me a little bit more about these guys?
Absolutely. Both of them have played NBA 2K14 on every console, and they are also ready to compete on the PlayStation 4. They're coming from the tournament from old gen, but they're stepping into the next generation of NBA 2K14.
A twist?
Yes, very exciting stuff. A lot of differences as well. So Tommy got here by most wins, and Semaj got here by most assists. So it shows the versatility of these players, not just about actual wins, but showing the versatility of these players to be able to compete in every single way in NBA 2K14.
Well, earlier we had the chance to talk to these guys, kind of pick their brains, see how they're thinking going into this amazing day. Let's check it out and see what they had to say.
My name is Semaj and I'm repping Virginia.
My name's Tomzak. I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
The qualifier process, it was pretty intense because I had to, have the most assists, have to be one of the top 4 people to have the most assists. So it was a lot of people, qualifying.
Qualifier is pretty intense. My whole goal of the tournament was just to qualify. I wasn't really too worried about the bracket. I just wanted to qualify. It's kind of cool to say that you got in the 16-man tournament. So it took some time, but it was intense. I just wanted to get in. I got in the first week. So I know Trey. Trey was the biggest name. I played him in the, I guess, quarterfinals. It'd be the Final 4 to get to New York here, and he was kind of an intimidating opponent considering he's got over, I think it's 3,000 games played. He's got 2,300 wins, and I was kind of intimidated going up against him because he's got 4 times as many wins as I do total games played. So that was intimidating. Otherwise, the people I played, they weren't intimidating. It was just go out and execute.
I'd say about 2 years, because I just started playing competitively, in 2K11, and I came across this website called Hoops Gaming, and those guys, my guy Jeff, he brought me into, competitive gaming, and, I salute to him for, getting me into, 2K basketball.
This year's NBA 2K14 is more realistic than in years past 2Ks. I was talking earlier, in 2012, it was very hard to make any baskets, and so last year they had made the game so easy to shoot 3-pointers, and as you know, 3-pointers aren't 50% throughout the game, and last year you can shoot it up and it's going in.
Last year you could just run a stand dunk play. The main play was Hawk Rev entry, but you could also run Laker Lob, so you couldn't really stop those plays unless it was a lot of hard work that went into it. But this year you could play defense much better. You could block dunks. You also couldn't block dunks last year, so it's a lot more defense. That's the main difference. I actually have no secret plays. I'm just going to play my game, play stifling defense, and play stellar. Have a stellar offensive scheme, and just pray that the 2K guys don't mess me up.
I don't have any words for my opponent. I tell him to bring his best because I'm gonna bring my best, and hopefully I come up with the with the win out of the best 3, but, you know, I don't have any words. I don't want to give him any advice.
So some very exciting stuff right there. You can see our competitors are getting ready to throw it down. It's going to be, of course, as you heard, a best out of 3 series, meaning the first player to win 2 games can claim themselves the NBA 2K14 King of the Court.
This is so exciting to me. I can't wait to get into this. Right now, we have Puckett standing with the first of our finalists, Semaj. Puckett.
All right, thanks, D-Mac. Right now, I am out here with Semaj from Virginia. Semaj, how long have you been playing NBA 2K?
I've been playing 2K since 2K11. My boy Jeff got me into the competitive gaming scene when he introduced me at Ballin' Brothers. So yeah, shout out now.
All right, so you've been playing since 2K11. Who's your team back then?
I say Memphis Grizzlies. I love Mike Conley's release that year, and I could score anywhere from like 40 or 50 points a game with him. So, yeah, definitely the Grizzlies.
Now, you aren't playing with the Grizzlies tonight. What team are you playing with now in 2K14?
My team past was the Rockets, but now it's OKC. Kevin Durant is just a beast on this game, and Caron Butler is my guy too. So, yeah, definitely OKC.
Now, we talked a little bit about your defense in the interviews. What do you think is the greatest aspect of your game right now?
My defense, of course. Like I said, I can force people into crazy turnovers, and I feel like as long as I can do that today, I should be able to walk away with an easy sweep.
Now, in warm-ups, we saw Tommy. He was hitting the three-pointers. Do you think you can shut that down?
No questions about it. No questions.
All right, well, Semaj, best of luck today. Let's send it back to the desk with D-Mac and Chris.
No more questions.
Yes,
that was it.
It is time.
I think it's time. He didn't want any more questions. I don't want any more questions. I want to get into the game.
Absolutely. And of course, I've been talking to these guys all day, and they are ready to play some NBA 2K14. These guys have a deep knowledge of the games, whether it comes to play calling or the intricacies of NBA 2K. It's going to be a very high skill level here today on display for the King of the Court finals.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. It's 2K14 on the PS4.
Yes.
This is something they qualified on the PS3. Yes. Obviously, I play on the next gen. I know what it's about. I've been playing. There's some massive differences. How are these players going to adjust?
The one major difference is, of course, the points of emphasis system that is in the next generation versions of NBA 2K14. Think of it as a chess match. I can combat what you're doing on the court by setting my points of emphasis, both offensively and defensively. So having those points of emphasis there is going to be a major, major game changer, especially when other teams go on runs and when your opponent is doing certain things. It's a way to combat them and try to, win that game of chess.
And earlier we were watching a game, and I was watching Semaj play, and then he started playing with his points of emphasis, and he got that physical D going with the Thunder. Now, that kind of turned the game around at the end, and he was able to pull it out in the fourth quarter. That sort of thing happens.
Yeah, and you saw there our competitors are getting ready to go, and basketball is a game of runs, and it's no different in NBA 2K14. And we talked about it before the broadcast started. Players tend to get a little emotional when they're playing the game, and you tend to make some mistakes, and you don't really see that till hindsight. The game's over, right? So it's going to be very interesting as they're setting their lineups here right now for Game 1 to see what kind of changes they make during the game itself.
Well, this is an interesting lineup right to start. If he's going to, oh, never mind. I thought he was going to bench Westbrook to start the game. Semaj is going to be playing with the Thunder, and on the other side, Tommy's going to be playing with the New York Knicks. If you have to just go matchup for matchup, what team do you think has the edge as far as 2K is concerned?
It's really tough because of both sides. Of course, you have the stars and Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony, 2 players in NBA 2K14 that are absolutely deadly when you can master them. But I think size for size and position for position, I think the OKC Thunder have a little bit more depth on their bench. You have, of course, some sharpshooters off the bench in Cephalosha. Even Derek Fisher might get in the mold today, veteran and champion Derek Fisher. But we'll see what happens here early going, because the game's going to really change when the substitutions start to occur.
And I like this. They're playing with the 2K camera. Too many people I play with are playing with the side view. It's all about the 2K camera.
I think so. Broadcast is the default view in NBA But throughout the series, we've seen a lot of people choose that 2K view because you could see the whole court and you're able to see everything that's going on. You know, and right here, you're going to see that. It's a very, very good view, especially when you start getting competitive. So Tommy's going to throw the ball away on this first.
That defense right away.
Bad defense. And here comes Westbrook, who throws it down with 2. And that's how you start the game, with some emphasis on the home court.
And it's not how you start the game if you're Tommy with the New York Knicks. And now he's going to try to get Carmelo involved inside.
Yeah, so of course you saw there a nice little pivot move right off of the right defender right there. So there's a lot of moves you can combat when the defense is coming at you. It's going to be interesting to see if these players are playing man or zone here in the early going, D-Mac.
And they were talking a little bit about this off camera earlier. They're talking about home or away, who has the advantage. I'm obviously going with the home crowd. And there you go. You see he's trying to get the crowd involved already. OKC with the early alley-oop.
Yes, so Semaj is taking those Thunder and throwing up those alley-oops early on. And let's see what he can do. Tommy, that is, to counter. He's going to shoot a mid-range jumper with Hardaway Jr. Doesn't go in. Semaj gets the rebound, and the Knicks need to play some defense here because you can see the Thunder are out and running right off the gates as Kevin Durant takes it baseline and gets the foul for 2.
And this is a long game. We have to talk about how in the qualifiers they played 3-minute quarters. Now they're playing 6-minute quarters. Totally different game. Substitutions are involved. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have fatigue play a factor with 6-minute quarters. And as you can see right there on the left of the screen, some changes are already being made to the points of emphasis. So watch that as
a D-.
Yeah, Tommy hits a D- shot.
How big is that for him?
Well, it's good. You got to get your shooters going early, and you want to keep them in rhythm. So here's another alley-oop jam, and that is going to be something that Tommy's Knicks are going to need to combat as Semaj gets another alley-oop.
How can he stop that? It looks like he sees a wide-open opportunity to get that going whenever he wants.
You need to bump the defenders off. So
what a block!
Wow. So that's what Perkins and you know, the OKC Thunder are known for. When you try to get down low against players like Perkins and Ibaka, they're going to send your stuff the other way. As Durant comes down and Semaj gets a nice little jumper right there, take the 10-5 lead. And you can see the OKC crowd's into it. And, of course, in Next Gen, you have the Emotion Plus system. So when players get it going, they're going to get it rolling.
And I was playing Semaj earlier, but his defense wasn't this stifling. It looks like he's taking it up a notch, trying to get ready for the bright lights.
Yes, the grand prize is on the line. So we need to see exactly how these players are going to play. But it'll be interesting to see how this play style affects him in the fourth quarter, because it's going to take about a half a game for both these players to feel out as Kevin Durant goes down the lane for the one-hand jam.
Well, he's at a very good scoring pace at this point, right? He's averaging 30 points a quarter. In a 6-minute quarter, that's pretty high. So if Tommy doesn't put a rein on this, it could get out of hand quickly, and there you go, another turnover by Tommy.
So you can see some of the momentum is on OKC's side, and that's going to rattle players a little bit if you don't try to calm the ball down and try to establish your own momentum, and that's a big part of NBA 2K14, is trying to create that momentum that goes in your way.
Well, what sort of adjustments are you making, if any, right now? Because, look, that's not working. The alley-oop is open all day, and he does nothing to stop it. What are you going to do here?
So you got to try to bump the alley-oop catcher off of his place. So if you know the guy's going to come down or he's going to be right there on the baseline, you know he's going to try to throw up those alley-oops. You want to play the off-ball defense, and you want to go down and play the on-ball defense on the forwards or the centers that are catching those. Try to bump them off of the post there early on.
Oh, well, there you go. Not even letting a clear pass go by. It's hard for Tommy to even get a shot off at this point.
Yeah, Tommy's having some struggling, and you can see right there he tries to go up a contested shot. So Tommy is having some major problems against the OKC.
There you go, another alley-oop.
And there's another alley-oop.
Oop City over here.
16-5, and now we have a timeout. And I think Semaj is feeling pretty good as KD's right there clapping his hands and getting the crowd pumped up.
Yeah, he's focused. He's happy right now with this start. Obviously, it's a long game, so it could go either way.
Yes.
And this is just the first of 3. So Semaj still has plenty of work to do.
As he gets a steal right there. And here comes Westbrook. Let's see what happens here. He gets the layup, a nice decision. He knew the defender was behind him, and he took the shot up a little bit late after the defender jumped. A really nice patient play by Semaj there.
And you didn't see the earlier dominance in the warm-up games by Semaj like this. I wonder if he was holding back quite a bit. And if he was, there you go, a big 3. Big-time 3.
Big-time 3. That's good for Tommy to kind of cut back into this lead. And, you know, a gentleman never kisses and tells, so it's probably a good strategy by him to not show all your cards early on in the going.
Yeah, and it's working out so far. Right now, he has both Westbrook and Durant getting hot.
Yes.
So
And that's not a good sign if you're Tommy and the Knicks, because both of those players can torch you once they get hot. As Durant comes down and throws it down the lane. I don't know where Tommy's defense was, but he needs to step it up to prevent all these dunks from going in.
Well, it looks like now he's playing the perimeter, but he left the inside open, and he's going to get an Earl Clark 3. That's kind of lucky to go down, no?
So he's getting another corner 3. So if I'm Semaj, I'm going to know that Tommy likes those corner 3s, and that's where the adjusting needs to take place. So let's see if Tommy can keep it up, and maybe he's going to stick with what's working right here, as Semaj has amazing ball movement.
That's way off.
Misses the shot. That was a B+ release, but we're going the other way as Tommy's coming down and throws it up in the zone, but doesn't get the alley-oop to fall for him.
He's trying to play like Semaj maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe trying to get those alley-oops to go up.
And maybe the advice is, hey, play your own game. Try to cut back into the lead.
Absolutely, and right now Semaj is absolutely controlling the tempo of the game and dominating him, quite frankly, as he gets a nice pass, maybe a risky pass into Ibaka, and gets the layup to go up and in. So right now in the early going, as we're seeing the competitors change some of their settings here. These are really important. So you can see he's going to put up the defensive assist strength, so the off-ball defense is going to be a little bit more, maybe physical, I guess is the word, and you're going to see that change the way that the defense is. So.
And do they typically do that, adjust the defensive assist during the game, or is that an adjustment you make before and leave it throughout?
I think at a high level like this, you need to do it a little bit of both, right? So you need to set what you want to establish your tempo, but then you also need to make the adjustments. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a game of chess, and you want to win that game because there's all kinds of variables in the game of basketball, and there's all kinds of variables in NBA 2K. As Tommy's Knicks score again. So 22-13, Semaj is in the lead, and we're going to see Durant come down the lane. No defense, gets a layup up, but he had some
So good
opposition.
late defense.
Yeah.
And
Another steal.
It's just too many turnovers by Tommy.
Yep, and he's going to throw it up, and he misses that. So
a missed three opportunity.
Maybe a little bit of showboating by Semaj, but he's feeling pretty good because right now it doesn't seem like Tommy can really move that ball. But there gets a nice alley-oop to Tyson Chandler, who throws down the hammer jam.
And now we see Tommy getting some momentum. I think this is where you start to think about your last possession if you're Semaj and say, hey, I messed that one up. I probably should have got the points. Slow it down and try to get back into this dominance.
Absolutely, and you can see right here that Semaj is taking his time trying to hit the open man. There's a guy on the wing, decides to go in, a little congested there in the lane, and you can see right there it's Thunder ball, but finally Tommy's able to kind of defend the paint, which is something that I think has gotten him back in this game a little bit.
Yeah, that's his first defensive possession
and a
that
nice
was
block
any good.
There on Durant.
And he's going to get a shot clock violation. That's a good job by Tommy.
Superb defense by Tommy, and like I mentioned, you're cutting those people from getting into the lane, and that's a good strategy by Tommy because Semaj has kind of had his way in the early going here in the game. As he gets another pass, so some bad passing by Tommy here in the early going, and takes it up, but gets the defense. Now, if he can learn to make some of those bounce passes, he'll be in good shoes here. You know, you have the option to hold that L2 button and make a bounce pass. Sometimes you need to do that because you won't get all the deflections that way.
Yeah, and that's what he's going to need to work on because these passes in the first quarter have been pretty bad.
Yeah, to say the least. But he's still within the game. It's only a 7-point game, so let's see what happens here. Semaj is taking his time. He's going to run down the clock, so
he
clock
wants the last shot.
Yep. Last shot, clock management, very, very important, especially in these games. Every possession counts as Durant comes down the lane, but gets a charging foul. So Tommy's defense, there's that assist strength, right? They know he's coming. They know they got to play a little bit more physical. He has 3 seconds to try to make something happen.
This is a big shot for Tommy, no?
Yes, absolutely. So he's going to throw it in the backcourt. He's going to throw it up, and Hardaway Jr. is going to have to, doesn't even get off a shot. So nice defense there by Semaj, not allowing Tommy to get the shot off.
And after first quarter, we're looking at a 22-15 game. Semaj is leading by 7.
Yes.
What are some of the things that he did really well? And I think Tommy's doing a good job. Trying to make a small comeback.
I think some of it is Tommy actually beating himself by not making smart passes. Semaj is a hound on defense, as we've seen, and now you're starting to see a little bit of that from Tommy in the Knicks, but Semaj is all over the court, deflecting passes, getting his hands on the ball, and getting out and running in transition, and Tommy slowed that down a little bit. You didn't see all those alley-oops in the second half of the first quarter, so let's see what happens here in the early going.
And if you're going to fall behind on a big run, you want to do it right to start the game so you can kind of right the ship.
Absolutely, and like I mentioned, it's going to take maybe a half for these guys to feel each other out. You know, they were practicing before the finals, but when it comes down to it and the spotlight is on and it's time to go, you know, maybe a little bit of folding could go on, a little bit of pressure out there on the grand stage, D-Mac?
Oh, I think when $5,000 is on the line and you could get to NBA Finals, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so we might see some of that down the stretch here. And it is now a 9-point game once again. So Semaj is building back up the lead. Let's see how Tommy responds. Passes the ball into Amari Stoudemire, but gets it kicked. That's a really good steal. And again, you know, Semaj is all over. You know he's going to be hounding you on the defensive end, and Tommy really doesn't have an answer for that as he shoots up a bad shot. And you can see the switch to the 1-3-1 zone. So Tommy's going to zone up here as he goes down with Carmelo. A nice block inside, and Semaj is coming back and running with those OKC Thunder. And here comes Kevin Durant, who throws it up, and Westbrook throws down the alley-oop. Amazing stuff by Semaj. He is absolutely controlling the tempo of this game, D-Mac.
Well, he needs it to be a fast break type of game because that's when he's scoring points. When he's falling into the half-court game, you don't see him scoring too many points, and that's when you see Tommy kind of be a player that could get back into this game. Absolutely.
So right there, he gets the ball, forces it out of bounds. Some good defense there.
Yeah,
you can definitely tell that Tommy is picking up the defense. But you got to stop the scoring of Semaj, and you got to stop the running. OKC is a team that is built to run. They are a bunch of power horses that can get down the court pretty simply. So you need to stop that. And right here, Semaj commits the foul right there. So Tommy's going to pick up a foul. And fouling's another thing we haven't talked about, but you're going to want to make sure you save those fouls because you don't want to put your opponent in the penalty and have them shoot free throws down the stretch of the game, especially when you're coming back and trying to make a comeback.
And then another three by Earl Clark. So Earl Clark kind of getting 2 threes, opposite corners. Tommy's only at 8 points behind here. 4 minutes left in the first half. There's plenty of time.
There is plenty of time, and some nice passing by Semaj. You can see KD get it right down the lane to Ibaka, who throws it down and is getting the crowd pumped up. Again, momentum. You're at home if you're the Thunder.
That's a bad pass.
Yep, and that's another bad pass. I don't like it. So here comes Westbrook on the break. He's going to throw up.
I don't like that.
And there is another throwdown. You can see Caron Butler getting the crowd pumped up.
You play like that, you can't win the game.
Absolutely not. You have to combat some of this, and you know what Semaj's game plan is, so now it's up to Tommy to make those defensive adjustments.
I know 2K players at home are saying, what is this guy doing with these passes? You don't understand them, and that's why Tommy is going to have to clean it up. He's shown that he can make the shots.
And he's shown that he can win, of course, advancing in the 16-man bracket by most wins. So Tommy knows the game. But you can see the ball movement by Semaj. And remember, he was the one, as he goes down and throws it down, a two-hand jam by Kevin Durant right there. He was the one that got into this tournament by the most assists, and he was able to advance. So the ball movement by Semaj has been really solid, and his defense has been absolutely hounding as he wasn't good enough there as Carmelo Anthony knocks down a three.
So and maybe that's a little bit of what it is. It's just Semaj's defense is so good that he's making a great offense look sort of pedestrian, forcing him into passes that he shouldn't be making, getting him a little frustrated.
Absolutely, and right here the points of emphasis, as I was talking about earlier, is going to come into play. You want to constantly change these if you're finding success in certain areas. For example, Semaj is running the fast break. He should have those guys running up the court. You're going to see some of this defense change.
Well,
let's see what he's going to do
key
here.
on Kevin Durant here.
Yep, so he's going to crash the defensive glass as well. So he's going to focus on rebounding, which is something that the Knicks can really focus in on, and it might give him the slight advantage on the boards.
Now, when you're playing somebody on your own screen, obviously, Tommy was able to do the points of emphasis, but Semaj was able to see what he was doing.
Yes.
You see that he's trying to stop Kevin Durant. Now, are you going to Russell Westbrook now because you know that the defense is focusing on Durant?
Perhaps. It's a lot of misdirect, and you also have a lot of bench players that are now going to be entering the game around this time.
And there you go. Westbrook shot.
Yep, so now he's going to actually feed it into Westbrook, who can score the ball to say the least. And Tommy right now is down 13 in the early going. So here's a mellow shot.
And that's a good shot, I think.
That
he
was
pretty open.
You could see he was open, but yet a fast shot. He has the defense ready to hound him, and it looks like Semaj has his game plan under control. Tommy's having a little bit of trouble, and you can see Semaj going for another alley-oop right there and threw it out of bounds because Tommy was in position.
Doesn't work as well in the half court. He did it a few times early on in the game, but since then, the alley-oop has kind of been stopped. Tommy has done a good job with that. Now he has to get some guys going, like J.R. Smith, like Carmelo. If he could get them going, just like he got 2 points with J.R. there, I think we have a shot.
And as I was alluding to earlier, you saw that his defense had his guy on the block, didn't allow him to come into the paint to catch that alley-oop, and right back he came down the lane and was finally able to penetrate that tough defense of Semaj.
It's almost like he heard you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, these guys are smart players, right? They've advanced through many competitions and many, many games. And of course, they're here at the finals now, so they know a thing or two about basketball. Now it's just time to prove it when it's all on the line. As Amari Stoudemire gets a bucket right there.
And this is such a manageable game. You have 14 minutes in play left, 11 points. I think 2K is a game, even when you have 4 minutes left, if it was 11 points, he would be okay.
We have all seen crazy things happen in this game. We've seen epic comebacks, and we've been, I'm pretty sure, on the emotional side of both the victories and the losses.
Absolutely.
So you know a game's never over until that final buzzer.
Big three.
And he bricks that. He gets a B release, so a solid release. Things are just not dropping right now for Tommy, but you can see that momentum shift is occurring once again, and Semaj is starting to take control of this game. He's going to call a timeout here, a very interesting timeout. I wonder if he's going to give his starters some rest perhaps and allow them to get back in. And you can see Russell Westbrook.
Back to the points of emphasis. He's going to take a look, and let's see what he decides to do here as they're going to call timeout.
Yeah, so more adjustments are going on. Again, it's a game of chess. You got to get in there, and you have to really try to combat what your opponent is doing, and that is where NBA 2K14 on the next generation shines, D-Mac.
You know what I would do right now?
What's that?
I would go to the options to the game sliders and just turn my threes all the way up. But obviously these guys don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
because,
well,
that's
that's also not allowed. But these guys, I'm sure they're looking for some shots. But here's some more points of emphasis as we see what they're going to do. So he's going to roll with get shooters open, play physical, so it's going to be some hounding defense. Now, the physical defense, this is where you can isolate players and actually get them to take them off the dribble. So you have players like Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony. If you have people hounding you, that's when you can show your skills on the sticks and try to cross them over and get to the rim. Okay. So let's see what happens here. Semaj is going to inbound the ball. And we're going to go back into some settings. It's always interesting, though, to see what players, the decisions that they make during the competition, during the game, because we've talked about it. It's different when you're playing the game in the moment and when you're spectating the game and watching someone else play. You know, you always have the right answers when you're spectating, but in the moment, you're trying to get certain things accomplished and you're thinking about a lot of stuff. You have to play the game with the players, and you also have to be the on-court coach, D-Mac.
Yeah, it is a tough gig, and emotionally you get involved, and sometimes you make decisions that aren't the best, and people will judge you for it. But at the end of the day, these guys have done so much to get to the spot that they're at. They deserve to play the way that they're going to play, and I think so far they're doing a pretty good job.
Now right there, he baited Carmelo Anthony. You saw he didn't come right out on him, and Tommy took the bait, took a bad shot from the corner, and here's Kevin Durant. Semaj is going to throw down another jam with KD Trey, and he leads all scorers in this game with 14 points.
And that's kind of good defense, right?
Ooh,
he baited him, and then he
pass.
baited that pass there.
And here comes an alley-oop, and another alley-oop.
Semaj benefited from this timeout. He made the proper adjustments. If you look at the corner there, Tommy's now taking his drink of water. He's going to think about what just happened. But that was a bad turn of events.
There's still a lot of time left, but we've seen Tommy make bad passes constantly as he gets a good one right there. But see, you knew the defender was there, and you can actually press the square button and the X button to make a ball fake. And ball faking against competition is one of the best things you could do because it's a misdirect on the court. And we haven't seen any of that from Tommy.
We haven't seen it yet, and maybe that's something that jumps into game too. But here we saw early double team.
And Durant's going to come baseline, a shot over 4 defenders, so a bad shot. He's able to get the rebound and put it up and in. But going back to that, the ball fakes are a great misdirect. It's something so simple, but they teach you that at the very basic beginner's level of playing basketball, and it's something I think could benefit Tommy pretty well right now.
You know, one thing I've noticed is when they get their superstar into a double team, they take the push and they drive it. They're worried about the weak side rebound, which is now open, and it seems to work out most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see here Semaj has actually blown this lead open to 20. Gets a foul there, but a 20-point lead for Semaj right now. We're about to hit halftime. Let's hope he can hit both of these free throws. Misses a slightly late C release right there, so every free throw counts. These are going to be adding up towards your comeback, and you need to make these count. So, you know, free throws are very, very important here, especially when you're trying to climb back from a big lead like this.
And you know, with 19 points, you've only scored 26. You're down by 19. Big adjustments need to be made. But
ooh, and he throws up a blind alley-oop that almost went out of bounds. Luckily gets it over to Melo, isn't able to capitalize on that 3. And OKC, oh, I stand corrected. He gets a shot and it just rolls in. So a lucky break for Tommy right there to end the half. He's going to be able to get that steal and that bucket. And again, every point counts. So that was a very big play by Tommy.
Here's the thing about the second half for Tommy. okay? Now, this is a best of 3. It's not just over after this game. And so for you to understand that, you got to know that you have to set the tone in the second half. Yes, it's important to win this game, but it's also important to understand that you're setting the tone for the games going ahead.
And right now you see a look at Kevin Durant, 16 points, leading the Thunder, and Semaj has to feel pretty good here at the halfway point of game 1. And Semaj is going to start by bringing the ball up, and you can see he's getting the runs, and he's able to get another open player underneath in the paint. So he's combating some of that half-court press that I think we just saw, and he's able to hit the open man with the alley-oop jam. So some very interesting basketball being played. You can tell Tommy's trying to combat the offense of Semaj, but it's just not working out for him right now. And another
tough pass there.
Another tough pass across the court, and we've talked about it. You don't need to make the cute pass across the court. You need to make the smart pass and play smart right now, because I think a lot of this lead has been off of turnovers committed by Tommy's ill-advised passing.
You know, he let the turnovers happen. There's another turnover there, and this game is quickly getting away.
And KD Trey's going to throw that down, and that's pretty. And if you let the Oklahoma City Thunder run, he's going to get a lot of that in these games.
You know, we talk about how the momentum carries throughout the game, right? But the momentum is going to have to carry throughout this series. And that's what Tommy's going to have to kind of combat right now. He has to make sure that he doesn't let this series get away from him.
Absolutely, and that comes back to the emotional standpoint of a player. We've all been there. We've all been upset when a run happens against us. We've all been elated when we get that run on somebody, and you have to stay even keel. You have to keep your momentum of yourself and your emotions in check when playing, especially when the grand prize is on the line.
You don't want to go back and say, hey, you know, I got too emotionally invested and I just let $5,000 get out of my hand.
Absolutely.
That's no short change.
So Semaj is back on the run. He's going to hit Westbrook on the left side. He's going to come down baseline. A nice pass into Durant. He gets fouled, but he's going to go to the free throw line. And you can see why Semaj made these finals by assist. Yeah, he's feeling good about himself.
Well, he has something to smile about. He's up by 20 at this point. 19.
And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Semaj, who is controlling the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, made his way into these finals by creating and winning the bracket of most assists. So you can see that ball movement on display here right now.
He should have got it by playing best defense. If that was a category, he would have been here twice.
His defense is hounding, and it's going to be tough for Tommy to combat. But again, maybe he's going to feel him out for the future of this series, so we'll see what happens down the line.
And a nice steal, and hey,
and
let's
Melo
turn
goes
this
up
into
and
a 13-point game.
One. That's a nice play by Carmelo Anthony, and you got to get that guy going if you want a chance to chip away at this lead, because Carmelo Anthony is one of the best scorers in the league, of course, scoring 62 earlier in the season.
And there you go, Tommy kind of readjusting his seat. He's saying, I might have a chance. Let's not this game get away.
Absolutely. You got to keep plucking away. And, you know, something you said to me before these games started was sometimes when I'm down, instead of getting emotional, I just won't look at the scoreboard. I'm going to continue to play my brand of basketball. You have to wonder what Tommy's thinking right now. Of course, trying to take some charges right there, and that's always a gamble when you're trying to take charges on the perimeter. But Semaj drops the ball, so Tommy
nice
gets
steal.
a lucky break, and here's some of that momentum shift. He's gonna,
I don't know about that.
Well, he's going to choose to go up, but gets the putback jam. That's a good play by Tommy. I was wondering about the three, but it ended up being all right there at the end. So Semaj is going to have to answer this little run back, and he gets Durant in the corner. That's his hot spot, and that's why he's the leading scorer in the NBA. So he knocks down a triple.
That's kind of the issue, right? When you press up on defense, you get let one of those go, and that's a big three. That's a big momentum killer. It's a 14-point game still.
Absolutely. So you're cutting away the lead, though. That's all you want to do. You want to get this game to 10, 8 or 10 points going into the fourth quarter. You have a brand new game, because the momentum shifts will happen. It's a game of momentum, and that's what everybody loves and knows about basketball, and it's the same thing for NBA 2K14.
And so we talked a little bit about it earlier, but he has to get the stars going. The shooters have to get going. Even somebody like Tim Hardaway Jr., you get him making a couple threes, all of a sudden the game is going to turn around. That's a big miss by Durant.
Now, one thing I'm also noticing, you're not seeing Tommy close out on players. You know, you use that right stick, you can get up shots. Ooh, he gets a block on Durant, so some good defense there.
Okay.
But when a shooter's going up, you're going to want to use that right stick to get your hand up in his face or face guard a shooter, and that's going to contest the three and decrease the chances of that three going in. So I see a lot of players that don't do that, and it's not going to be working to your advantage to just try to jump out at a shooter.
And you know, this late in the game, there's about 9 minutes left in play. You're down by 17 now.
Yes.
What kind of defense are you looking to play? What kind of adjustments could you make at this point? Or, you know, have you made the adjustments you were going to make?
I think Tommy needs to keep making some adjustments, but more so than anything else, the bad passing. You see right there, good ball movement, gets the corner tray to answer. Yeah. It's back to 14, but Tommy can still inch his way in the 2.5 minutes that are left in this quarter, but he has to make the smart passes. I think running some pick and roll plays might be might work to his advantage, but let's see what they choose here for the points of emphasis. And it looks like they're both going to let the auto points of emphasis go, and that might be a mistake because you really want to change up the way you're playing. We haven't seen too much of the fast breaks by Tommy. Semaj has been making his lead and is living right now off of the fast breaks. So here's Westbrook at the top of the key, passes it over. Butler hits another three-point shot. So again, talking about closing out. Yeah, that was actually a 2, but he's lucky that was a 2 because, again, you got to get your hands up. You have to make sure that you're playing defense on the perimeter against good three-point shooters.
But one thing I'll say about Tommy right now is we talked about it, right? Not letting the momentum get away. He's finally playing his game and finally playing toe-to-toe with Semaj. And that's something that Semaj could get worried about going into game 2.
Absolutely. Let's say Semaj takes game 1. If Tommy takes game 2, you could see a completely different demeanor in Semaj if he doesn't hold his emotions in check. So, again, he has control of this game, clearly. It's a 61-45 lead in the way of Semaj, and Tommy just needs to chip away and get some of that momentum going back his way for game 2, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And not saying that this game is over. You know, this game is certainly not over. But at the same time, hey, it's a long series. You don't want to get blown out. You want to show that you're competitive. And that's just a nasty alley-oop by Ibaka.
So another alley-oop. He's absolutely putting on an alley-oop clinic. If you want to learn how to throw alley-oops, watch Semaj.
Yeah, you tuned into the right stream then, because this is Oop City. It's been like that all day.
Absolutely. And you can see he pulls a good charge right there. So he knew Westbrook was coming behind the back, throwing up kind of a little bit of a crazy pass, and the momentum took him right in with the charge. So a smart charge call right there. And
he's going to go back to the corner maybe?
No, he's going to pull a 3. That's a bad decision.
Shot.
I don't like that shot either. He was defended pretty well on that 3.
You have an opportunity to go down by 11. You're only down by 11. You're down by 14. Oh, and Westbrook makes him fall.
Yep.
Now and Adams.
Let's see. So Adams gets 2, and he's going to go to the line right here. And again, talking about free throws, you know your opponent's coming for you, so he's able to hit the free throw with the big guy right here. And let's see if he can knock down the second, which are so vital to any kind of lead you're holding and or comeback you're trying to overcome.
Well, one thing is for sure about this game, Semaj has not beat himself at all. He's made very few mistakes. He hasn't let Tommy get back into the game without throwing punches back.
Absolutely, and that's the game of chess I was alluding to earlier. You have to make the adjustments, and you got to feel like Semaj has made all the right adjustments so far and has tried to throw Tommy off his game. And right here, Durant's coming down the lane, and he's able to get going. And when Durant comes down the lane like that, you might as well just clear out of the way because he's going to throw it down.
And you might have not noticed that play there. But what Semaj did was cut Carmelo Anthony off so Carmelo couldn't go and grab the ball. That's basically another turnover caused by Semaj's defense.
Absolutely. So let's see what Semaj does here. Again, it's clock management, so he's going to try to run down some of this time, although he won't get the last shot. He's dribbling up top. He's going to pass over to Durant. That's not a bad option. He was going to kick out to Westbrook wide open.
And then this is a shot.
So there's a wide open shot. He was contested a little bit, but let's see how Tommy can run and end this quarter. He's going to come down with Smith. He's going to choose to stop.
He's
going to come down with Amari and throws it down with 0.7 left. So again, a 14-point game. It's not a deficit that you can't overcome. So we're going to have to see how the start of this fourth quarter begins for Tommy.
And he won that quarter. Tommy won his first quarter. Okay, so that's important. That's something that you need to take away and you need to build on. Again, we're playing a bunch of quarters today, guys. So if he could win this quarter, that means he could win a whole game.
Absolutely, and mentally it could be so big, although he turns the ball over right to start the fourth quarter, so that's unfortunate for Tommy. Let's see how Semaj responds at the early goings in the fourth quarter. So he's going to take the ball with Westbrook. You can see that he's always trying to pick and choose his spots, and he's able to get another alley-oop because that defense is now playing tight to their players, and I talked about it earlier. You got to try to get people and push them out of the paint if you know alley-oops are going down. Right there, he tries to respond with an alley-oop of his own, but he has no people running through because, again, Semaj was playing physical on D, and they were able to bump out the alley-oop catchers from getting in the paint.
And that really hasn't been his game, alley-oops. I think he's doing it because Semaj has been so successful with it on one side.
Yep.
And I think the key is you got to play your game, and he's done that for a little bit now. Now's not the time to get away from that.
Absolutely, and Semaj is making a living right now off of getting into the paint and passing the ball out. Penetrating and kicking like right there is a great way to get yourself into these finals.
And Semaj is doing a good job with the clock management. Shot clock management, he's making sure that he gets a shot off with 10 seconds or less, and he is trying to draw this out. That's a good
J.R.
block.
Smith doesn't try to throw it down with authority. And when you come in weak on Serge Ibaka, you're going to get that thrown to the fifth row.
And that's a good block there by Semaj.
And let's see what happens here as Tommy is just getting hounded, continuing to get hounded, but hits the backdoor man and one reverse jam. That's the first play I've seen that could change the momentum in this fourth quarter. Absolutely, but doesn't get the free throw. So going back to those free throws and commits a blocking foul. So you can see he's trying to take a backcourt charge.
Not a big play.
At this level, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
it's these little things that Tommy does right, and then he just throws his momentum away. You know, and that's the thing that he's going to have to work on going into game 2 is you do the things that you do right and just try to limit your mistakes.
Absolutely, and you can see Semaj here absolutely picking apart Tommy, but Tommy's defense is there in the
It's getting
this
better.
time. And yeah, that could be a good sign for game 2. Let's see how Semaj is able to just get in there. And again, these assists by Semaj, I would be willing to bet he has a lot more than Tommy right now, and that's what got him here in the finals, as he's able to get another steal on Tommy's ill-advised pass. So if I'm Tommy right now, I'm going to want to make sure I'm throwing some bounce passes. I'm going to want to be a little bit more calculating with how I throw passes because I'm giving it to Semaj, and he is scoring on the fast breaks every time.
Yeah, you want to stop this pace. I think going into game 2, even trying to finish out this game now, you're going to have to play a faster pace to play catch-up.
Absolutely.
But game 2, I think he's going to want to play a half-court pace and really slow this game down.
So Tommy is trailing in this game 55-72, gets a corner 3 there, gets a really athletic layup, a putback layup by Tyson Chandler there. So nice play by Tommy to get the deuce.
That reminds me of something I would do on the basketball court.
Yeah, that's some good God-gifted athleticism there.
I can dunk like that.
I unfortunately cannot, but you know who can? That man right there, Ibaka, as Semaj throws up another alley-oop play. So you know what he's trying to do. He's trying to break down his defender on the wing.
Yeah.
He's trying to drive, penetrate, get defenders to come kick out back to him, and the wide open lanes are there for the baseline runners to run in and throw down the alley-oops.
And so a 15-point game, 3.5 minutes left in this. Westbrook now has the ball. This is not looking good for Tommy. It looks like he's going to lose game 1.
And he throws up a scoop shot that goes in, so a tough shot by Westbrook, and that can't feel good if you're Tommy right now.
And you know, if you're Tommy right now, what kind of adjustments do you make to the start of the next game? Because this game is kind of getting away from you at this point.
Absolutely. So the first adjustment that I would make is, again, not defeat myself and make better passes. I think the defense has been hounding him. So you know if defenses are hounding you, try running some pick and rolls, creating some mismatches, maybe try to isolate a little bit. Of course, on the PlayStation 4, you could swipe that touchpad. You could call isolations and pick and rolls and the kind of plays you want to call. You haven't seen too much of it here, and I'm actually a little bit surprised at that because those are the kind of things that can get you some success when trying to change up your game in these competitive games here.
And a nice steal there by Tommy. So 15 points, 240. We've seen it happen before.
And again, chipping away. So now you got a a 13-point game
Do
here.
you see a comeback here? Have you ever seen somebody send you a video or something of a comeback crazier than something like this?
Absolutely, we have. I've seen.
So it's possible.
It's possible. I've seen a 20-point deficit, be overcome in the fourth quarter, and it really just comes down to adjustments and trying to change up the way you play. In this last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I really want to see Tommy try to run the ball with the Knicks and try to get up some open shots because you never know. 13-point game. Let's see how Semaj responds holding this lead.
It is just 4 threes. One of them you got to get fouled on.
Absolutely. But, a nice play by Westbrook as Semaj dribbles down the lane and throws it down once again. So Tommy's scrambling on defense here. I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome this defense as Westbrook gets a steal right there.
And he's going to slow it down. I thought that was kind of smart.
Yep.
I probably would have went for it, and then he made an ill-advised pass.
Yeah, so Tommy's able to get out, and this is a big play right here. You want to get that up, but gets blocked. Carmelo Anthony doesn't go up strong. You got to throw down the hammer jams when you're going up against the defense of Serge Ibaka.
And he's had a problem finishing strong, Tommy. He hasn't been able to finish strong at the rim. Thunder players too long, too strong.
Absolutely, and again, like I mentioned, when you have players like Ibaka down there, when you have players like Perkins, those are physical players that are known for their defense, so you're going to have to go up strong because if you come weak, it's going into the 7th row.
And now the Thunder up by 15.
Ooh, a very bad shot by Tommy, and there's maybe where you're starting to not make the right plays because you're getting a little emotional. The game you feel is out of hand, and you try to throw up contested threes like that. Now he's going to try to hard double Semaj. I don't know if that's a good idea because Semaj has been able to get in the lane whenever he wants and hit the open man. You can see he's going to slow down the game, make sure he controls this game 1 victory, and doesn't allow anything miraculous to happen from Tommy. So a three-pointer up. He used up the shot clock. That's actually a really great play by Semaj there by utilizing the clock management. Even though he gets a 2, you now have 57 seconds, and it's once again a 13-point game, so maybe not enough time for Tommy to come back. But let's see what happens here. Semaj is going to dribble up the court, Westbrook with the ball. It doesn't look like Tommy's opting in to foul, so he's going to let this play through. Maybe he feels this is out of hand or there's no comeback coming. So finally calls a hard double and forces him out of bounds. So that's interesting. You can see that Semaj likes to bring the ball up in those corners, and that's one of the disadvantages of when you want to play physical against that kind of defense.
And so, hey, 10 points.
10 points, 40 seconds to go.
When
again,
you look at
away.
it at the end, it's saying, hey, I only lost by 10. I let a 15-point quarter go by right in the first.
Absolutely.
I obviously did some things right to finish out the game. And so if you're Tommy, you got to leave this with a bright note.
Absolutely, and Tommy commits a foul there late in the shot clock. Really should have fouled early. These are the kind of small things, the basketball, shot clock management, and time management that are so vital to winning these games at this level of competition. You got to know when to foul, when not to foul. He decided to let some shot clock run off and wasted about 15 seconds there. So again, another ill-advised pass, and we haven't seen 2 things that's very shocking to me by either player. I haven't seen a lot of ball fakes, and I haven't seen a lot of bounce passes. So it's very interesting to see high-level players not utilize those, because right now, I think that could really benefit Tommy. And Semaj is going to hold out this to end the game, and he's going to go out with some respect and not try to throw up a shot there. He has the lead, so he's showing some class there, and Semaj takes game 1.
It was a good game. I thought it was very enjoyable to watch. I thought Semaj played excellent defense throughout. He really did, like you say, hound Tommy all game long. Did not let Carmelo get going. Did not let J.R. Smith get going. Made sure he played physical the whole time. I think it was flawless on all counts.
Absolutely. If you're Semaj, you're feeling really good right now. You control the offensive tempo. You control the defensive tempo. You really threw Tommy off his game there. We saw some really bad shots by Tommy. I have to think that's the emotional side of being down big, right?
You're absolutely right. But I would like to point out some positives for Tom. Okay,
absolutely.
We talked about it during the game.
Absolutely.
He's coming back. Okay, he made a small comeback during the game. Does that mean a lot? It means a lot to me. Would that mean a lot to you, knowing that you can hang with this guy?
Absolutely, because you were down 20, you come back, you cut it to 10. Okay, I can get back in this. So let's see what happens in game 2 coming up soon.
Well, he obviously doesn't want to let the game get away from him right from the beginning, because that's what happened in the first game. And we talked a little bit about it during the game. But what can he do to make sure that doesn't happen?
I think you got to make sure that you keep your passes smart. don't make ill-advised passes. A lot of passes across the court to the corner, bad entry angles into the post. A lot of stuff that Tommy was doing. I think he beat himself. And of course, when you turn the ball over against the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to run, they're going to shoot, they're going to dunk, and they're going to score.
Chris, here's one thing though. How did Semaj and Tommy get to where they're at? And why am I not sitting in that chair?
I don't know, but
I think I'm wondering that. I think the people at home are wondering that. And so here we have Chris Puckett standing with Zach. Actually, we have Tommy. Okay, we're going to get up with Tommy. We're going to sit with him and see what he's thinking for game 2.
All right, thank you, D-Mac. Tommy, game 1 didn't go as you planned, but I got to ask you, before we talk about what happened in game 1, first off, how long have you been playing 2K?
I've been truly playing since last year, 2013. 2K13 was the first year I started truly playing and, trying to get good at it.
And last year, who was your team that you were using most of the time?
Last year, my team was the Thunder. They had some injuries this year. I went away from the Thunder and learned the Knicks and have stuck with them since.
Well, after game 1, we saw kind of the success of Durant. Your Knicks, they weren't hitting the three-pointers like you wanted them to. What was going wrong with your three-point game? Was it just Semaj's defense or just some tough shots?
He was predicting the passing lanes real well. I give him that. I took some very contested shots, obviously resulted in misses. I still made a good percentage from the field. I just can't let him get out in front like obviously the first quarter was the difference.
Yeah, we saw that first quarter, he really started to pull away, especially then going into the second quarter. But you actually won the third quarter. You scored more points than he did in the third. But when it came down to the fourth, you actually made it somewhat of a close game. What's the new game plan coming into game 2?
I don't think there's much new game plan. I think I just got away from my game plan from the first game. I let him get out to the lead, and he was able to maintain. Made it a lot easier on him.
All right, and is there any way to stop the alley-oops for all the casual players out there who want to step their game up?
There is, but I'll tell you after the game.
All right, guys, we will be back with more of the 2K14 King of the Court tournament after this.
It's immersion. You really feel like you're there and part of it in a way that hasn't been possible before.
When I got into making games, I always wanted a game that captured, basically what I'm seeing on TV on any given night watching NBA basketball. With the PS4, that's starting to become a reality.
NBA 2K14 on the PlayStation 4 is a fundamentally new experience. Whether you're a basketball fan or not, it's an experience that I think all gamers are going to want to have.
We expect the graphics on any next-gen system game to be spectacular. But more so than anything else, I think this year the first thing that hits them about our game is that they feel alive.
Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation. So some pretty awesome stuff. You can see the Eco Motion trailer right there for NBA 2K14, D-Mac.
And it looked amazing. I don't know if I'm watching real basketball or just watching a video game. I don't know how you guys did that, but keep doing a good job. Okay. But what I'm really wondering is how I could get in the same chair. How can I play these tournaments, right? And so we have a pretty cool interview. We have Zach Zeldin from Virgin Gaming. He's going to let us know about what Virgin Gaming is, how you can get involved, how you can win some cash. So, Puckett.
Steve Mack, I'm here with Zach, as you said, from Virgin Gaming. Now, Zach, I know that Tommy and Semaj have been making some serious cash through Virgin Gaming. Tell me, what is all this Virgin Gaming services all about?
So Virgin Gaming is an online competition mechanism and platform that allows gamers from all over the world to come and play in brackets, leaderboards, leagues, all types of great events that are put on online. And then sometimes we have great live events that culminate like we're doing here today in New York.
This one is so exciting to be watching the two finalists here competing for some serious prize money. Now, what are some of the games that you guys are running on Virgin?
So we have NBA 2K, Street Fighter, Madden, FIFA, NHL, many more to come down the pipeline, obviously with the next gen and Titanfall and games like that. So we're looking really forward to an awesome 2014.
Very cool. And if I'm a player out there who wants to get signed up today, where do I go?
Go to virgingaming.com. Free to register, and you can hopefully come to New York, play in some awesome championships, live stream, be interviewed by you. That's the biggest pleasure, isn't it?
Always. All right, well, Zach, thank you very much. Let's send it back to the casters while we get ready for game number 2.
So some pretty awesome stuff right there. Of course, you can compete on virgingaming.com, and we're really trying to make this open to everybody. It's not just about wins. You know, for these competitors to get here today, it was most assists, most blocks, most rebounds, you know, most games played, really showing the versatility of these players, GMAC.
If you're telling me that all I got to do is get the most blocks to get an interview by Chris Puckett, then that's what I'm going to do when I go home. That's it.
Absolutely. So some really cool stuff there. And we're really excited, everyone at 2K. I think this is a great start to a future of esports and competitive NBA 2K. If you're like me, you're throwing controllers when you're losing and you're elated and on the highest of highs when you're winning. So it's great to just see these competitors play. And it's going to be interesting to watch Game 2 because, as you mentioned, sort of a blowout game. You have one player that's pretty elated right now. You have another that might be questioning his skills. So what do you think is going to happen in Game 2 here?
Oh, well, you know, I don't know what's going to happen in Game 2. But I know that I'm excited to watch it. And I think everybody at home is excited to watch it. And so we'll be back with Game 2 right after these messages.
You know, that was the OMG trailer for NBA 2K14. I think we left a lot of jaws on the floor. Were you saying OMG after you saw that?
That is so amazing. In the air tonight, Phil Collins. Are you kidding me? I blast that every time it plays in my room.
Awesome, awesome. So some good stuff right there. Of course, these competitors now are able to actually jump into the next generation of NBA 2K14 and compete here for a grand prize. What's on the line right now?
It's $5,000. And on top of that, maybe the sweetest thing on top of that all, a trip for two. Let's not forget, for two to the NBA Finals. That is absolutely ridiculous, guys. It's all for the winner. So you got to win to get the prize. But $5 grand, that's no small chunk of change.
Absolutely not. And we're excited to be live here from New York at the MLG Studios, broadcasting this for you guys, the fans. It's really fun to see this competitive side of 2K. Everybody claims, I'm the best at 2K. I can beat you. I'm sure you hear it a lot, right?
Yeah, they'd all be wrong because I'm actually the best at 2K.
There you go. But two players that are actually the best at 2K are competing right now for this King of the Court challenge in NBA 2K14. So as we see our competitors there on the screen gearing up and getting ready for Game 2, let's talk about Game 1 real quick. I see a lot of bad passes by Tommy. I see some suffocating defense by Semaj. Do you expect to see more of the same, or do you think feeling out your competition in that Game 1, you get to have that reset? Do you think that's going to go in the way of Tommy and have the advantage there?
Well, you know what it is I really do think that Tommy now has some sort of confidence. We talked about that, right? It's so important for him to finish out the game well, and he did that. And now he felt that too. He talked about it in his interview. He said, hey, I let the first quarter go. Besides that, I played pretty well. I don't have any adjustments to make because the last 3 quarters, I've been playing fine. So that confidence right there, that's what Tommy needs. And if you're Semaj, you're saying, well, dude, I just beat you the whole way through. So he has all the confidence he needs too.
Absolutely. And you can see right here that now Oklahoma City is on the road because we are live at the Knicks' home. And the one thing that's really interesting, if you watch the points of emphasis, both were set to get shooters open, and both were to play physical on the defensive end. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game starts. And of course, if you're just joining us, we are live here from the MLG studios in New York City, broadcasting the finals of the King of the Court NBA 2K14 Challenge, brought to you by Virgin Gaming. So thank you so much for joining us. And we have our 2 finalists, Tommy, who has his hands on the sticks of the New York Knicks, and Semaj, who's controlling the Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's get underway right now to game 2, as Tommy throws down an emphasized dunk with J.R. Smith, and he's getting the crowd going. So
and he needs that. He needs to get going. Remember what we saw the first play of the game last game. We saw Tommy make a crucial turnover, and we saw Semaj take advantage of that with a Russell Westbrook dunk.
And of course, mentally, when you're at home, if you're Tommy, you're going to feel good. The crowd's going to be getting into it.
It's MSG, baby.
Absolutely. So the crowd's going to be going into it, and I think that's going to play a small mental part in Tommy's game. I think he's going to feel a little bit more comfortable than maybe he was on the road and facing a large deficit.
And such a long game here, guys. It's going to be a long one. We have 6-minute quarters, so the first quarter is going to mean a lot, though, because the first quarter basically set the tone for the last game. So it'll let us know what type of game that we'll be in store for.
Absolutely, and of course we're playing on Superstar simulation settings, 6-minute quarters as you alluded to, and that is really a nice sweet spot for the NBA 2K players. I've talked to a ton of players, celebrities, athletes, competitive players, casual players. They all really like that Superstar sim setting, and that's what you're competing on when you go head-to-head with somebody online in 2K14.
We were talking a little bit about this, and I actually didn't know the differences. I know there's Superstar simulation. I know there's default now, and then there's arcade, right? Those are the 3?
Casual.
Oh, casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's basically a way for new players to come into the game, and, casual setting, you might have some more shots dropping. The default setting, again, it's good balance, but simulation basketball where it's really at. It's the most competitive setting that our game offers, and I feel with Superstar Sim, it's really a great middle ground for these competitors to compete on. And right here, it's a closer game than it was at the start of game 1. So Tommy's getting to the line. He's actually going to tie this one up and have a chance to take the lead. You got to think that's going to mentally play an advantage to Tommy, and it's going to give Semaj something to think about here in the early going.
Well, here's something interesting. Within the first 2 minutes of the first game, Semaj already had 12 points. Within the first 2 minutes of this game, he's only had 5. I know it's not that big of a deal. We're only talking about 2 minutes, but we are talking about setting the tone for the game. And so this might be telling for the rest of this. And there we go.
Oh, a nice block, but he set him up with a double crossover and gets to the rim, gets blocked. But Carmelo Anthony, watch for him to be a major factor here in game 2. So here's Semaj now taking the ball up, hitting his corner man, who's Durant, goes up through the defense, now can't get that to fall. So here's where that player rhythm comes into to play right here. Different players will get into different kinds of rhythms, and it's not all based in next-gen NBA 2K14 on hot or cold. You can have players getting into rhythms by assists. You can have players getting into rhythms by rebounds. Emotional player rhythms with those personality badges. There's a lot that goes on to get the teams playing and get the players kind of ramped up or ramped down. You could probably see some of the disgust on the face of the Knicks players last game when they were down, some body language that would suggest they're just not really into the game. They're kind of feeling down about themselves, but you can totally see right here, it's a new game, and it's now 11-5 as Tommy hits a 3 right there.
Totally different game here, totally different score. Last game we came in here, it was 11-5 Semaj. Now we have 11-7 Tommy. This is exactly what we were talking about, though, Chris. We're talking about setting the tone, understanding that you can compete. That's the biggest thing, and I think Tommy now knows that. He's getting comfortable, and he's playing his own game.
Absolutely, and if you see right there on the court, you have those playoff logos right now, of course, to celebrate the playoffs as Semaj throws down one of his patented alley-oop jams. But
he's bringing Oop City to New York City.
Absolutely, and let's see how Tommy responds. Now a 2-point game. And he's going to hit the open man, so some nice passing. Remember how I was talking about the patient passing. Doesn't get that 3 to go, but gets the rebound. Look at this, another wide open shot. Shoots the 3, a late release. You can see right there the timing, a slightly late and B- release. But you like the ball movement. I really like the fact that he's making the right passes at the right times. He's not hurrying. He's not trying to make a bad, ill-advised pass. I think Tommy has really readjusted his game here in the early going of game 2.
Well, I think he realizes he can't let points go. When he did that in the first one, he fell behind. He couldn't fight back. And now it's an 11-11 game. If you're Tommy, I think you like where you're at. If you're Semaj, maybe you're getting a little worried. You want to close it out here. You don't want to put it to a game 3. Anything could happen.
Absolutely, and right now you got to get through game 2 to make it to game 3 if you're Tommy. So some adjustments going on. You can see the teams are subbing, and Semaj and Tommy are continuing that chess match that goes on behind the scenes.
My heart's racing. I don't know how these players are able to play. Right now, I'm going crazy just thinking about the fact that one of these players is going to win $5,000 and a trip to the NBA Finals, and all they had to do was win 2 games of NBA 2K14 on the bright stage.
Absolutely, and Semaj throws down another alley-oop jam. Of course, when you're throwing up plays to Kevin Durant, he's going to throw something down pretty. So it's going to be a little bit interesting because if Semaj wants to take this game too, he is on the road, and he is going to have to make those decisions down late in the game, but he does take a 15-11 lead right here with 1:20 remaining in the first quarter.
And here's another interesting thing. They're on a 10-0 run. Until they hit that 3, the Thunder were on a 10-0 run there, and that's a big answer by Tommy and his Knicks.
Absolutely. So Carmelo with the 3, but Durant's going to get a nice baseline shot. That's usually his bread and butter, but Tommy's going to get the rebound here and kick it up. You're going to see some more fast breaks and some more transition by Tommy. I like the patience there. Gets it to the open center line, comes down and throws it down with 2.
Limiting his mistakes. The same way we described Semaj's play style in the first, I think I would be able to describe Tommy's play style in the second game. He's limiting his turnovers, and he's creating turnovers.
Absolutely. Let's see what J.R. Smith does. Has a defender behind him, but is able to throw down the 2-hand jam. J.R. Smith and the Knicks crowd now into it, and that's going to be really, really important in this game going forward. So Tommy leads Semaj 18-15. Of course, if you're just joining us, Tommy's controlling the Knicks.
And another turnover.
And another turnover. So the roles are reversed here in game 2, but isn't able to make the pass. Again, going back to making that good pass.
Yeah.
So on the break, guys running down the court. Doesn't have eyeballs in the back of his head as much as we'd love him to, and throws the ball away. So let's see how he responds right here, Tommy that is, on the defensive end, as Semaj is going to post up in the post, kicks out to Butler, who shoots an open shot, and that is bread and butter.
It's a 2.
Yep, a 2-point shot, but a nice kick out, and again, Semaj proving why he's in the finals by leading the Virgin Gaming Tournament in assists. So here's J.R. Smith at the top, and he's going to penetrate in, and it looks like he's going to get the shot up.
Over here.
Gets the shot. He had a nice defensive lineup right there. Smith wasn't able to shoot it up.
Nice.
A deflection. Is he going to be able to get the shot?
Nice deflection.
A last-second shot that rims out, so that was a close one. But Tommy leads after the first quarter, 18-17 D-Mac.
This is nice.
And this is why it's competitive NBA 2K14. Every game has its own story, and you know, it looks like Tommy just came back out and said, you know what, I'm just gonna impose my will on you. I'm gonna actually play my style basketball. Forget game 1. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna show the people what New York basketball is all about.
Amnesia. That's what Tommy got, and he totally doesn't remember what's going on for the first game, but he's totally in this situation and he's in his zone.
Absolutely, and again, he's able to penetrate, get the ball inside, and get a nice lay in there. So you can see Tommy has now changed up his game completely, throwing better passes, smarter passes, and really penetrating and trying to hit the open man and open shots.
And was that a forced 3 by Semaj? I didn't like the shot. We haven't questioned his.
A nice spin move by J.R. Smith, who comes down, gets the and one.
Earl Clark, are you kidding me?
That was Earl Clark, rather, but still a pretty move that got us out of our seats.
It looked very J.R.
Smith-esque.
Smith-esque.
And look, another defensive play, another steal, and here comes Earl Clark, of course, former Laker. Have to call that out.
Oh, I love the Lakers too,
there
baby.
There you go. So former Laker Earl Clark making a difference in this game, but Semaj is able to throw a bad pass down the court. Now, you know, a lot of people try to get those passes up the court. Make the smart play. I always say that. It's easy to say when you're spectating, and it's easier said than done, but when you're playing the game, always make the smart pass. Don't try to throw those full court passes.
And we didn't question his passing once in the first game. And now we are starting to question it, although he made a good turnover there, cutting into the deficit. But Semaj has he's shown a different side of his game.
Absolutely, and this is what it's all about, making those adjustments. As I mentioned before, it's a chess match, and he's going to leave him open. That is a good psychological move. Let your opponent shoot the three, get in their heads. I've seen that done before.
For your opponent.
Absolutely, so he knows he's not the best three-point shooter, so let him go down. But Semaj is now imposing his will, and a good timeout right here by Tommy to try to take control back of this game, still leading by 1 here in the early goings of the second.
And one thing I like about Semaj's game is that's something I've noticed. He'll leave somebody open if he wants them to shoot. He'll bait a lot. That's something that's part of his defense, and it's really interesting to see how much he does that. And what that attests to is his complete understanding of the game and understanding which shots are good ones and which ones aren't.
Absolutely. How deep does that knowledge go? You have these players that understand each player's hot zones. When I was watching them practice this morning, all they were doing was in the practice mode, finding out what is Kevin Durant's hot zone, what is Russell Westbrook's, what is Carmelo's, and they were absolutely studying up on what the hot zones were. So those are going to play a factor in these kind of games. So now it looks like it's going to be Thunder ball. And again, you know, you don't see Tommy throwing all those bad passes this game, and I think it's really making a difference here in the early goings of the second quarter.
Also, only 1 alley-oop so far in this game.
A nice ball movement by Semaj there. Karan Butler, you got to get out on him. Of course, he won a ring with Dallas a few years ago. Another former Laker I'd like to just throw out there. And Karan's able to get that three-pointer to go down.
Me and you could talk about the Lakers all day, Chris. It's okay.
Absolutely. Of course, they are sharing the same couch with the Knicks. I'm sorry, New York fans.
Hopefully we get Wiggins.
Out of the playoffs. So here's Durant. Here's Semaj coming down, getting the block. Tommy is, and he's going to run it back the other way. Let's see what decision he makes here as he's coming down with Hardaway Jr.
And that's a good take.
Oh, it just rolls out, but a nice play by Tommy. I would have probably done the same thing, but we've seen a lot of choices to opt in to go for the layup instead of, you know, holding down that R2, that turbo button to kind of go up and throw it down with authority. So Tommy likes to use those layups. That's something I think Semaj has recognized, and he's able to get that defense to collapse down.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see the block dunk, and then the block dunk turns into a fast break on the other side. So he's trying to prevent that, but the layups really haven't worked out for him.
No, they haven't, and now we're going to see a nice little timeout here, and you can see some of the Emotion Plus system right there. You know, a couple of the OKC players are a little flustered. They're a little bit off their game, so let's see how that plays out to end the second quarter and see if they can get the momentum back in OKC's way.
I buy into the body language. I enjoy that part of the 2K14 game. I think it's a very cool add-on that kind of gets you into it.
Absolutely. Not only does the game look great, but the players emote so real, and you know, that's something the dev team worked so hard on, and we're really able to nail in NBA 2K14 for the next gen. So you saw it there in the you saw it there in the
baby.
OMG trailer, and you're going to see an OMG dunk right there by Russell Westbrook. So you get that guy going, and Kevin Durant, and you're in trouble if you're New York and Tommy. But let's see how he responds here. Coming down the lane, Carmelo throws up a bad shot, contested, but he's able to get the rebound with Shumpert and put it back up and in to lead by 4 once again in this game, D-Mac.
A very close game, this one. This one is a battle back and forth, not something that we saw in the first game, especially the first half of the first game. So probably a better finish.
Absolutely, and you're going to see Semaj get kind of zigzag his way down the lane, and Tyson Chandler isn't too happy about that shot, but you can see Russell Westbrook getting to the lane, and he's a slasher, right? He's a high-flying slasher, so when he comes down the lane, you got to try to bump him before he gets too much down the lane, or you're going to foul him, potentially send him to the line. You got to bump him out of the lane when he's coming down.
And something that we haven't seen Semaj do too much, but I played a game with him, and I saw him use it a couple times, and I think we'll see him use it a little bit more going forward. His three-point ball hasn't worked out as much, so you might see him enter the post. And I think he does a lot of damage to the post as you see a big block by Durant.
And you can see that might get his motion going the other way, and Durant gets the big block right there on Tommy. So Semaj is still closing out on his shooters the right way. He's able to get out there and prevent that three-pointer from going in by Tommy. And they're going to inbound the ball here. Let's see what he chooses to do. It's going to go right into Felton. Gets fouled again. So again, you know, coming down late in the quarter, every point matters, and if you get your opposition into foul trouble, that can be big for you because you can get free throws, of course, late in the quarters. So tries to take a charge, goes up over a tough defense, and now here we have Russell Westbrook. Look on the right side, but he chooses to do the Euro step lay-in. A really nice decision there by Semaj by Euro stepping to try to have a misdirect on the defense. And Tommy throws a wild pass out of bounds. So it's going to be Thunder ball once again here at the 2-minute mark of the second quarter.
A tied-up game, a crucial last 2 minutes for the first half. I think you have to take the lead to feel good about yourself, and now Semaj is kind of coming back into this, and he's going to want the lead. He had the lead going into the first half. He wants the lead the whole way through, and so he's really battled back.
Yes, so Semaj has now actually taken the lead from Tommy, and let's see how Tommy responds, because these are the pivotal moments where you got to sit and think and really decide what you want to do.
Three.
Tries to hit the 3 with Tim Hardaway Jr. from the side of the court, and
alley-oop,
and alley-oop again,
bang.
And there's KD Trey throwing down a reverse two-hand jam, and Kevin Durant shooting a little bit less good than he was the last game. 5 for 10, 10 points. But if you're Tommy, you got to keep up whatever it is that you're doing defensively, because you're playing really great defense on Semaj, and he's not able.
Pedestrian night by Kevin Durant, just 50% from
just
the field.
Just 50%, you know. So here's Westbrook. Semaj is going to take a baseline, go up and over, and one. So now you're seeing that momentum shift.
I like it.
This is a big free throw. He's able to get it, and now all of a sudden, it's a 7-point lead in a matter of a minute. And a nice little play by Tommy, comes down, gets the shot.
That.
So, yeah, that was a good momentum break right there, because you can see Semaj is starting to find his play style, and Tommy's kind of on his heels here for a little bit.
Well, Russell Westbrook has had a big half. They just showed his stats, 12 points already, 4 assists. He's done a pretty good job so far.
Absolutely, and Tommy's defense is great once again, but there it goes again, a bad pass. You can't throw passes in a congested lane, and we've seen that by Tommy a lot. I'd have to think you got to start making the better pass if you want to come back into this game. And here's Butler wide open for 3. He isn't able to get that.
Oh, wow.
Rebound drops right into Adams' hands. Here's Russell Westbrook. A 3 is good by Semaj. That goes back up by 8. And if you're Tommy,
that's got to make you mad.
Absolutely. That's just one of those bad rebounds for you. Unless, of course, you're Semaj, then it's one of the best rebounds. Now here's a corner shot. Good. So a nice play by Tommy. Nice decision. You can see right there a 16-6 run in the last 4 minutes and 40 seconds for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So Semaj has to feel good about this momentum change right now.
And they could have got the last shot there, the Thunder. Luckily, they got the ball back. But this is somewhere where I opt for the last shot all the time. It looks like I was pretty confused as to why Semaj already drove it.
Yeah, and we saw good clock management last game. So it looks like he's finally going to decide to hold the ball, throw off some seconds. He's getting a hard double by Tommy.
And
great double team.
No shot here.
Yeah, absolutely great defense there. He suffocated the ball handler when he needed to. He wasn't able to get the pass off, and he threw away the ball to end the second quarter. So it's an interesting little turn in a matter of a minute and a half, 2 minutes there to end the second quarter. What are some of the things that stuck out to you at the end of this first half?
Well, Semaj got it going. Big time. He got Russell Westbrook going. So far, Kevin Durant hasn't really got going. You're talking about having a pedestrian night. But look, Russell Westbrook, 15 points already. He's doing a good job. Not only is he only on 10 shots, so he's getting to the line with them. He's creating opportunities. And if he keeps doing that, it's going to be tough for Tommy to get back in the game.
Absolutely. But again, goes up with a layup, gets blocked. And again, I've talked about it a lot. It seems Tommy likes to opt in for layups, but you want to throw it down and try to get the foul or the and one facial.
And on the other side, I like what Tommy's doing. I think you have to feel good about it. You're only down by 4.
Yep.
Right? And you were down by 18 last game, so...
Ooh, but a defensive breakdown there. He is able to get the foul. That's a good foul on Ibaka.
Yeah.
He's not a great free throw shooter, so let's see if he can knock these down.
I thought he was going to miss that one.
Does get the first one.
And he
makes the second one. So I stand corrected. It looks like Semaj has Ibaka's free throws down. And that's what you got to need. You need to know how each player plays and what their role is on these teams, because when you start playing at this high of a level, every single player is going to matter. As Tommy's able to hit a 3.
That's a huge 3.
A huge 3, pulling within 3 points now. So Semaj is up 3 here. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter here in game 2. Let's see what happens as Semaj is going to again penetrate, tries the Euro, gets the ball up over 2 defenders. That is a very advanced move right there, those Euro steps.
Takes it back all the way to France. That was beautiful.
Absolutely deadly. So let's see what Tommy does to respond. Tries to pass it over, gets a wide open 3 from Shumpert, who knocks down another 3-pointer, pulls within 2, and you can see Tommy is now moving the ball better. He's penetrating, kicking out, getting those open 3s, but isn't able to stop the fast break of the Thunder. And yeah, the bench is going nuts and talking about that, and Ibaka's going nuts. So now a momentum shift back in OKC's favor. Tommy just has to weather this storm, opts out to, doesn't call a timeout here.
Oh, and tried to do the spin move.
Yep, so again, too much dribbling.
Clear path? No. Okay.
No clear path foul. Of course, that would have been 2 shots and the ball. A good foul there by Tommy to prevent the fast break from going on. So Semaj is going to respond here by dribbling at the top of the lane, getting it out to KD. Watch Russell Westbrook at the left. You could see he was wide open, so he had a shooter out there on the left, but he opts in to drive the lane and try to pick up the foul and gets 2 free throws at the line.
And I'm kind of interested to see his shot selection and how he's going to use the amount of shots that he has. Is he going to take 15 in the second half with KD, or maybe only take 8 and then try to step it up with Russell Westbrook? He's going to have to share his shots pretty well in order to pull this win out.
Absolutely, and watch on the right side. There's Kevin Durant throwing it down once again. So Semaj is now getting Durant going 6 for 12, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and a hell of a lot of highlights here in these NBA 2K14 finals. But Semaj is back to that suffocating D, and he decides to foul him. Another good foul, but you only have so many of those before you throw him in the penalty, and then you'll put him on the line. So you got to be careful where you pick and choose to foul your opponents. But I like those 2 fouls because it prevents them from getting the fast break, and they were both not clear path fouls.
Yeah, you don't want to let points go this late in the game, especially when you're down 1 game already. You need this win.
Absolutely. So here's Semaj once again. I feel like he's starting to get that swagger back, and Kevin Durant hits a clutch 3 to put the lead up to 11. Semaj is now up by 11 points as his OKC Thunder lead 53-42. So let's see what happens here. A quick 3. Again, maybe some of those bad decisions you start making when you get a little flustered, but he's able to kick it over to the other corner. Hardaway Jr. answers back with a 3. That's huge 3 to cut the lead to 8. And if you're Tommy, you got to just keep at it.
You got to play your game.
Absolutely.
Stop limit the mistakes. You know, the way you were playing in the first quarter, I think that is Tommy's style. And, if he could just get adjusted, I think he plays a little flustered when he's down.
Absolutely. Now, a nice patient play there. You can see something that Tommy's really good at, and a lot of players don't do in NBA 2K14 is if you know the defender's behind you, just take a second, don't go up right away, let them jump, and then go up. It's a really simple misdirect that works very well, especially on this high competitive level.
Okay, so Durant going to get involved in. It looks like Durant is really getting busy this half.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of guy that you want to get busy, because when that guy gets going, there is no one better in the NBA to score the bucket. So Tommy's going to go inside. A nice defensive play by Semaj, who gets the block, and now he's running the other way. Some more running in transition, something we didn't see in the first half too often. And here comes KD Trey. When he comes down the lane, that is tough to stop as he leads the NBA in scoring.
Opting not to take the three-pointer there. Probably could have been an open 3. Deciding, hey, I can easily get this drive, and doing a good job doing so. That's a veteran player in my opinion.
Absolutely, and you can see the defense is playing tight right now. Absolutely suffocating defense by Semaj, and Tommy looks a little bit flustered by it. He's not making the right passes. Is able to score there, but you can tell that defense by Semaj has given him major issues down the stretch here of Game 2.
Yeah, and this game is coming down, and it's kind of getting away from Tommy a little bit. This is going to be a big timeout. Kind of see how he adjusts.
Yep, and here we go. So Semaj is now going to bring up the ball. This is the moment where Tommy needs the momentum shift to happen in his way. He needs to do something to keep the ball from going in the bucket against his opposition, because right now Semaj is getting good looks, even though there's a tip pass right there by Tommy. So the defense is starting to pick up once again for Tommy. If he wants to cut this lead down, he's going to have to pick up the defense. And here's Westbrook with a shot. No good, but it's able to fly in with Ibaka and get a foul, and he's going to go to the line. So a huge rebound by Serge Ibaka there. You got to feel good if you're Semaj right now. So now an 11-point lead. Semaj is in the lead on Tommy. We're going to have to see what the Knicks do here, because as we just mentioned, Semaj's defense is great. You can see right there, he tries to go up with another layup. He tried to pump fake, but again, too much defense by Semaj. He has this team down. Goes up.
Rebound as well. A loose ball foul.
A good break for Tommy, as there's a loose ball foul on Ibaka, and Tommy's going to be running the other way. He needs to get a couple baskets right here to change that momentum, because right now everything's rolling in the way of Semaj as he picks up the ball and he's running the other way. So here comes Caron Butler down the lane, passes over, doesn't get the bucket. Tommy's running now. Let's see what kind of pass. Another pass in congestion. You knew Russell Westbrook was waiting in the weeds to pick that off, and we've seen that so much today by Tommy, those ill-advised passes through congestion, D-Mac.
And it's getting late. You know, it is getting late, and so those mistakes need to be limited right now, because at this point, you have 7 minutes left to get it going and to get this win. And if you don't, you will not be getting the $5,000. You won't be getting a trip to the NBA Finals. And, you know, that's a tough break there.
And this is what it all comes down to. Competitive NBA 2K, and this is where the players are going to start to sweat because there is so much on the line right now. These 2 games mean everything. All you have to do is win that second game, and you're going to claim that prize and call yourself the NBA 2K14 King of the Court.
And how many people are at home right now going, I'm better than these guys?
Everyone.
Everyone is
better,
saying
right?
that at home right now. And guys, if you want to prove you're better than these guys, all you got to do is go to virgingaming.com, sign up, and maybe we'll see you here sometime soon.
Absolutely. Of course, there's going to be tournaments going on. There's all kinds of competitive 2K. And this is a high-level game. I mean, you look at Semaj's defense. He knows when he chooses and picks his spots. He's left bad shooters open. He knows the kind of players he's going up against. He's done his homework. So he is absolutely dictating the defensive end for both guys right now. And let's see how he's going to break down the offense. Some dribbling, kicks it over to Durant. You can see the double team coming just a little bit late, but Durant's not able to get that shot, even though he gets the rebound. So rebounds are killing Tommy's Knicks right now. And Semaj, nice pump fake and a nice mid-range jumper by KD Trey. So
it's a pretty big shot too.
An 11-point lead.
He needs to get this final shot now. He needs to turn into a single-digits game heading into the 4th quarter.
Absolutely.
And he takes the 3 with Shumper, and he hits. So that's a big hit.
It is a big hit because, again, you cut the lead back under 10, and that's where you can make your run. This is still very much a game. Gets a deflection on the ball. Gets another deflection. Now you're going to have an 8.
Wow.
Wow. So he calls a timeout. There's going to be an 8-second violation if he didn't call that. So that was a very good timeout by Semaj. Again, good court awareness and good knowing of basketball to call that timeout. You can see the,
I just love the presentation today. You guys don't hear the commentators. Usually they have amazing commentary on it too.
And Tommy gets it up and in to cut it to 6 points. That is a huge play right there. Absolutely
Are you kidding me?
Huge
6
play
points
to end the 3rd quarter. And that was a great timeout. But again, ill-advised passes, misdirects. You know, you can ball fake that and you can make the pass. I haven't seen that from either player today, and I'm telling you, that's one way to misdirect your opposition and really make them think you're going one way. I've pump fake people and they jump to the left, jump to the right, or even try to block something, and you're able to just get one dribble and a nice jumper, or the pass that you wanted to make, you can get the defender off and buy that pump fake. So neither competitor's using that, but I think Semaj is doing quite well right now with the 6-point lead and gets a wide open player in Westbrook in the corner who goes back up top. Tommy jumps the lane, doesn't get the steal, but let's see how he closes this out.
Oh, baby!
Kevin Durant down the lane and one over Amari Stoudemire.
Throw it down, big man!
And that is a way to hush the crowd, and Tommy knows that as he calls a timeout right here because that's a big momentum shift, and you can see KD being pumped up right now in the 4th quarter. That's a huge play for Semaj and something Tommy needs to weather the storm right now.
No.
A pass, it's up and good. Another steal. You could see that coming down the court, and again, another ill-advised pass. You have to know your competition. Semaj has been absolutely pestering all of the Knicks players on defense, and here he comes. He's going to throw up an alley-oop, and
this is ridiculous. He told me he was Mr. 4th quarter. We talked
and
about it
another steal
before.
by Ibaka.
I didn't know it was this true.
Oh, this is absolutely deadly. But Tommy's able to hold on. He kicks back out to Caron Butler. He's a 3-point shooter. Doesn't hit there, but is he going to get the rebound? No. So Tommy's off and running. Let's see what happens here. He decides to go up with Carmelo. Another layup is blocked, so you got to go up stronger than that. He's going to shoot a contested 3 that doesn't go in. Semaj is able to get the rebound, and we're off to the races the other way.
The
with the
best
ball in the
minute
hands
of 2K has been played in the last minute by Semaj. He absolutely dominated, and he did it when he needed to.
Absolutely, and he was hanging out in the weeds, waiting for that opportunity to run in and pick that pass away, but throws a lob pass that's picked off by Tommy himself. Let's see what he decides to do.
Good recovery
a nice
defense,
strip.
though.
Wow, look at that defense right there. A strip of the ball, and Semaj has this thing in his hands. He's going to throw up an alley-oop to Russell Westbrook.
He's putting it away,
Chris.
A
9-0 run in the last minute and 20 seconds. This one is being put away, and I think Russell Westbrook knows what Semaj knows, and that's I'm going to be the king of the court.
He's deciding that he wants to go to the NBA Finals.
Woo! This is an absolutely dominant performance by Semaj here in the fourth quarter. But let's see what Tommy does. You still have 4 minutes, and he called the timeout. You're going to try to break that momentum. Carmelo Anthony, a wide-open shot from the corner.
That's a big shot.
It's only a 2, but that's okay because you pull within 13, and that's all you need right now. You need anything that you can get. So Semaj is going to bring up the ball with Westbrook. You can see some of that dribbling with the right stick is able to kind of throw off his defenders. And something Tommy's been having a problem with was Semaj's ability to get into the lane and kick out. So inside to Ibaka, he's going to try to take him off the post. Good D by Amari Stoudemire, but makes the cardinal sin of reaching and picks up the foul. And
late in the shot clock again.
Absolutely, 14 seconds back on the shot clock. So bails him out in a way there. Not the right play you want to make, but Durant's able to get baseline once again and scoop it up and in.
And this is not where you want to be if you're Tommy. This is a tough spot to come back from. I know you talked about, I've seen crazy comebacks. I'm sure you have, Chris. But when you're playing up against an elite player who knows what he's doing and who makes very little mistakes, when you're down by 13, I just don't see it happening.
Your window of opportunity is starting to close if you're Tommy. Every play matters. Every decision matters. And let's see, a nice floater shot. I really like that shot, but it doesn't drop for Semaj, but a very nice creative shot there by Semaj. He's going to throw it up, throw it in. An 11-point game, so he's cutting away at the deficit. You can see the New York crowd's starting to get a little excited. The bench is getting a little amped, but a nice timeout there by Semaj. You don't want anything to happen to this momentum you have with 3 minutes to go, because as I've mentioned, crazier things have happened in NBA 2K14.
And you know who else is getting a little excited, Chris?
Who's that?
That's Semaj, because he's 3 minutes away from winning $5,000 and going to the NBA Finals.
Absolutely, but Tommy is trying to kill that dream as he's going to make a late quarter run right now. And let's see what he does. So Shumpert at the top of the lane is going to take his defender off the dribble. Wide open three-point shot. Gets blocked.
Wow.
That was very predictable. Semaj knew he was going to do that, so he jumped out to the lane. A great defensive awareness by Semaj.
Oh, that's good D.
And that is a good defensive play by Tommy. So let's see what he does. Throws the ball back.
Boneheaded play.
So again, patience. You need to be patient.
That was tough.
And that is that's when the pressure is starting to come on. You make the wrong button press, you pass to the wrong person, and this leads back up to 13. So let's see what Tommy can do to respond to this lead. He's going to go all the way down with J.R. Smith and get an easy 2. So again, he's still hanging around. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. 11-point game. You don't want to let it get up to 15 or 20 here. So he's trying to chip away where he can, and is now deciding to go with the full court press. So let's see how this defense works out for him. Of course, he misses it. And Westbrook is able to come down the lane, throw down a monster hammer jam, and that will extend the lead.
Is it sealed?
13.
Is it sealed now?
It's getting close, and a shot rims up and rims out, and this may be it.
I think it's almost sealed. If he scores this, he's going to get the free throws.
And KD is absolute cash from the free throw line, so you got to think that he's going to knock these two down. So extending the lead up to 14. Semaj can feel it in the air right now. Doesn't get the second free throw. You need some threes. He's going to go over. That's a 2. It's a good shot, but doesn't get it. Amari with the tip-back jam, though. That's a good play by Tommy. But you need some three-pointers right about now, and you can't force it because Semaj is all over you defensively. So here he comes up the court with Westbrook, and he's going to want to run some clock. So, again, a bad foul by Tommy. You don't want to send him to the line. I was talking about that earlier. You need to keep going, and you need to make the smart plays. Now a 13-point game once again, and Westbrook makes the second free throw. So Semaj is feeling really good about his Oklahoma City Thunder right now. And you got to think with 1:30 left, Tommy has to have a miracle to get back in this game.
What he needs to do is press start, go to those game sliders, and turn those threes all the way up.
Well, there's a Carmelo 3 that
there you go.
drops, so that's the start of something hopefully good for Tommy, because now the time is winded down, and it may be too little too late for Tommy here, but does get the charge. So gets a backcourt charge, a nice
Is it a game?
misdirect. It might be. Let's see what happens
He
here.
has to make a 3 here
There's
right away.
definitely enough time. You need a three-point shot. He goes to the corner. He's going to opt in for the 2.
Should he have backed up maybe?
Maybe. I personally would have gone for the 3 there just because it is an 11-point game.
It's too late.
But let's see. He's going to run some clock here.
He's running
that
clock.
That is Semaj. Tommy is kind of lost on defense, but I think he knows that Westbrook is going to come down and try to run some clock here. So Semaj playing very smart, and the more time that's wasted, now 4 seconds on the shot clock, going to get it to Durant in the corner, and that's good.
Over.
And that could be the dagger by the leading scorer of the NBA in Kevin Durant. And now a steal, and that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen.
And what a performance by Semaj. I think just limiting all mistakes. He's going to make you earn every single win. That was his gameplay style going into this, and he made Tommy earn every single point, and Tommy just couldn't get a win.
Absolutely. So he's holding the ball here, so really great clock management. And that's the right thing to do. You want to hold the ball when you're up. And, you know, Semaj was up big last game and decided to show some class and run the shot clock out. That's what teams in the real NBA do. Not everybody's as nice as Semaj, but you can tell.
Yeah, not me.
That kind of class gets you here to the finals.
That ain't my style.
Absolutely. I know a lot of players that try to shoot up threes and run the score, but you're going to see here Semaj is just going to run down the ball. Smith gets a steal here on Semaj, so he's still trying to get it, but you can see.
And look at him.
He knows.
12 seconds.
He's feeling good.
12 seconds away. He's about to win $5,000, a trip to the NBA Finals. This is fantastic for this young man. Such a nice, bright kid. I love talking to him before the game. I'm very happy that he ended up winning. And there you see the sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
You love to see that.
Absolutely. These guys are both competitors, and talking to both of them, they were both really excited to compete. And there can only be one winner, and that is Semaj and his Oklahoma City Thunder that take home the claim to call yourself the king of the court in NBA 2K14.
The king of the court, $5,000. 2 tickets to the NBA Finals, and on top of that, you could brag to all of your friends that you literally are the best at NBA 2K.
And this is just the start, right? So now it's the barometer for greatness, right? The bar has been raised and set. Semaj can call himself the best NBA 2K14 player in the world, D-Mac.
It's absolutely incredible, and again, he did it by limiting his mistakes, by playing flawless basketball. Maybe this guy should look into coaching. I don't know. But again, he's $5,000 richer. He's going to the NBA Finals. Puckett is standing with the winner. Let's find out how Semaj is feeling right now.
Thanks, D-Mac. I am here with the NBA 2K14 king of the court, Semaj. How you feeling right now?
Feel amazing, man. It was a long road. I just thank God, and I finally did it. I finally won my first Virgin Gaming tournament. It feels blessed.
Man, so proud of you. You played solid defense from the very start. What was it about your defensive game that you really knew you had the advantage over Tommy?
I already knew limit perimeter shooters, and he wasn't going to score, with any of his shooters. So after I seen that he kept trying to jack up threes, I was like, it was over at that point.
Well, we saw you start off kind of slower in this second game. Then you really started hitting your momentum. We saw Westbrook with a very strong first half, but it was all Durant in the second half. What changed in game 2 for you?
Basically, I had to play a little bit more patient because I knew he told me that he was going to come out a lot stronger. And as you could see, he went up 6 points in the first quarter, and I had to buckle down. So, salute to him for, trying his hardest. He was a great competitor. He took down a lot of tough competition, mainly Trey. So, salute to him.
All right. Well, Semaj is our champion. Semaj, you will take home $5,000 as well as 2 tickets to the NBA Finals. Who do you expect to see at that Finals game?
Miami, I think they are going to be there, and probably the team I just played with, OKC.
All right, well, let's make it official. We'll bring Zach Zeldin here to give you your $5,000 check. Congratulations, your NBA 2K14 King of the Court champion, Semaj. Back to the desk.
Some really awesome stuff right there. Of course, Semaj competed in all the VirginGaming.com tournaments. The bar has been raised. You can go there and get better, prove that you're better than him. I don't know if that's possible. That guy is pretty good at NBA 2K, but you can check all that out at VirginGaming.com.
How about the humility? Just
Absolutely.
Understanding that his opponent also went through a tough road and giving him a shout out and making sure that everybody knew that his competitor played a great game. And we saw a game between 2 great competitors, and it was just a fun thing to watch. On behalf of 2K Sports, on behalf of Virgin Gaming, PlayStation, Amazon, we're here at Major League Gaming. We had a fantastic time doing this with you guys. Please come back next time. This is Chris Manning. Chris Puckett was working with us. I'm D-Mac. Shout out to our competitors. We'll see you next time.